everyone, this is Murielle Fellous with a new episode of Date Like a French Woman, and today we are going to talk about the mean or incompetent matchmaker in your head. I hope you had a nice week. This subject was inspired by a conversation that I had with a woman recently that told me that she hates dating. And when I hear something like this, I know that it, of course, is a feeling, an association, a negative one that is derived from negative experiences in dating in the past. I bet you had similar experiences, either very painful breakups or what they call ghosting, like the person disappears, or you were lied to. If you are a woman who tend to attract the unavailable men, the manipulators, the players, or even the predators, you have a negative association with dating until you do something about it. And I had a client like this actually, who every time she was trying to get a vision about dating, she could only see something that resembled her past experience where she had no room for herself in the relationship. And her body was starting to tense. She could feel like the contraction in her chest even. She was like panicking just at the idea of dating, because that's the image that she had attached to dating. And that woman that I recently had a conversation with had an association with dating men who were waiting from her to take care of them. And that's not what she wanted to do, but she had attracted several of them in her past. And so when she thought about dating, that's what her reference was. So what I went on doing, I asked her a question. Because of course, if I talk to you about something that was painful, you don't feel like going. Our brain is specifically designed to keep us away from pain and push us towards pleasure and stay safe. So you don't want to go there, and that's natural. Then I asked her, what if I could give you a guarantee that if you start dating, you're going to meet the guy that corresponds to what you want, to your list? So in that occurrence, she didn't have a list because she didn't want to be restricted by her list. And even though you need to be very flexible in what you put on your list, you still need to have a list of what you want and mainly how you want to feel in the relationship. Because first, how can you recognize something if you don't know what it is, if you meet that guy? And second, how do you want to attract something if you don't even know what it is? But apart from that, apart from the fact that she didn't really have a list, when I asked her that question, I said, would you go and be proactive? Would you be active in dating if I guaranteed you that you would meet that person? And she said, yes, but. And that's where, when you catch yourself talking, we have ways of talking when, what I call, we don't watch ourselves. Those are the things that come out of our mouth naturally when we talk with girlfriends. And we don't pay attention. We are not trying to be positive. We're not trying anything. It's an instant reaction. Pay attention to those declarations, to those sentences, because they do correspond to your unconscious beliefs, and they can be positive or negative. And in that case, what came after the but was negative. It was, yes, but I always attract guys who expect me to take care of them financially. So, of course, how do you want to be excited about dating if that's what you think that you're going to find? Nobody would. And if that's you, don't blame yourself, because nothing is our fault until we really become aware of it, and then we can change it. But in that case, that was her expectation. So of course she didn't want to go there. And as we continued talking, there were other beliefs that were negative regarding love. One of the other beliefs was that all the good ones are taken, which, unless you can absolutely prove that it's true in 100% of cases, it is not a fact. It is just a belief, which means it is a thought that has been reinforced in your brain over and over throughout time. And every time you have an experience that resembles that belief, it will reinforce that belief. So that's why it's dangerous to continue dating if you had bad experiences without changing your unconscious programming, because you're going to reinforce them instead of finding whatever you're after consciously. So that too is not a fact. I have a friend who recently got married after years and years of abusive and even some of them dangerous relationships. Found a wonderful guy who's treating her like a queen that she is, and he's very wealthy. And why was she able to do that? Because she changed her inner programming, her inner parameters, her perception, her beliefs, and the way she was behaving. If there is one guy like that, there are others. And you don't need 20,000 guys running after you. You just need one, and then you would be happy. I presume, unless you are polyamorous, and that's a different story. By the way, I'm trying to have a guest who lives in a polyamorous relationship in a very healthy way, so that must be very interesting. But if you have a negative vision, your inner matchmaker is going to look for every guy that resembles that negative vision, and is going to match you with. That's what you're going to match yourself with. That's what only thing you're going to be able to spot in a room full of good guys would be the one that is not a good guy. Because of the way our brain works, and because of the energy that you are emitting to the world. That's not a secret. I've talked in previous shows about the reticular activating system, which is a matchmaker, not only in love, but in money, in everything. It matches your vision, your perception, your beliefs with what you can find in the world. So pay attention when you open the possibility of the most wonderful thing that could happen, and you hear yourself either out loud to your friend or in your mind, because we do that 24/7. We talk to ourselves, inner dialogues, and you say, yes, but. Pay attention to what comes after the but. It's a belief. It's associated with a belief, if it's not the exact belief. And where is your point of power? Well, it is in, first of all, spotting that, being aware, and checking that but sentence and turning it around to the positive side of it. And if it's really a strong encoded belief, Just affirming the exact opposite won't work. That's why people do affirmations that don't work, because they are too far from their current perception, their current belief, their current state of emotions regarding a certain matter. That's something that happens a lot. And when I coach people, and even with myself, when I catch myself in cases where I'm too far from what I want, I soften the affirmation. I make it believable to my unconscious brain, to my unconscious mind, I mean. Because if it's too far, if the gap is too wide, it's going to be rejected. Your brain will eject that. It will say, yeah, right, get out. So let's take the example of I only attract men who expect me to take care of them. The exact opposite would be I attract guys who take care of me. But if your experience is the opposite, your brain is going to be, I'm not receiving that. So you can say, I'm willing to start attracting guys who take care of me. Or I'm opening to the possibility of attracting guys who take care of me. And that way you're not lying, because if you're doing the affirmation in the first place, you have the will to change that. So I'm willing to attract those guys is a true statement. I'm opening to attract these guys. I'm opening to the possibility is a true statement. So your mind is going to accept that. And repeat, because the thing is, you will imprint a new belief and a new behavior and a new association regarding love and dating only if you feel that it is true in your body. So be very conscious and aware of your bodily reaction when you state, I'm willing to attract. If you feel too much resistance, you can use tapping, EFT. And if you don't know what tapping is, reach out to me, contact at datelikeafrenchwoman.com. I'll send you my video about the introduction to tapping, and I would even recommend that you join our Facebook group, because I do regular tapping sessions in that group. What tapping does, it's actually, there are scientific data now that proves that it has the ability to literally rewire your brain, create new connections in the synapses in the brain, in the nerve cells in the brain, so that you start creating new beliefs, new ways of being in the world, and new results. And what it does, it also dissociates the current negative emotional response to that matter. So in that case, we're talking about dating or attracting guys who expect you to take care of them, or whatever your case is. Maybe you attract liars. And it removes the negative association with men, so that you can start opening to the possibility of attracting something better on a brain level. And as we know, when you think, you feel. And when you feel, you vibrate and attract. You remember, like an elevator, you will stop at the floor at which you vibrate. So the key is to really associate that beautiful opening of possibilities in your mind regarding dating. And it doesn't happen in one shot, because I was listening. I love learning about the brain. I'm passionate about that. I love learning about energy. And when you combine both, you can literally create miracles in your life. Things that you have never known before. I know it from experience. I know it with my clients. I know it from people that I listen to. It is possible. But the first step is intention. The second step is gaining the tools. And once you have the tools, you need to repeat over and over daily, because that's how you're going to change your brain plasticity. With repetition, that's how we learn how to walk when we're babies. That's how we learn what things mean, how to write, how to drive. Repetition is the key. And not only repetition will teach you that at an unconscious level, that means it will become your default mode even when you don't think about it, and you will surprise yourself with new sentences when you talk about dating to your girlfriends, when you're not watching what you're saying. But it also, so it imprints it, but it also makes you better and better and better. It's like being the Michael Jordan of love. You will train yourself, and soon enough you'll be able to make a basket on demand. It will become your automatic pilot mode, but it requires an effort. And the first step to really start changing is to decide. That comes from your conscious mind. You set an intention, and then the repeating state will or may trigger some deep-rooted emotions that are under the surface, that are in your unconscious mind, which will come up to the surface. And because your brain is designed to keep you safe, and that does not feel safe, it's something new, it's something that you have never experienced, you may find yourself resisting. I know with my business that happens over and over. I do something for a certain amount of time, and at a certain point I find myself resisting and trying to find every excuse possible to stop. But the key is to really transcend that resistance, to again use EFT tapping. Tapping is really extremely powerful. Use visualization, anything that will work on your emotional attachment to a subject. Transcend that resistance and continue. And this may happen because we go by levels. So you're going to go up a level, and then you're going to feel again another resistance. You know, it's like when you lose weight and you go to the gym and you reach a plateau where nothing moves anymore, it's status quo. Same thing. Change the routine. Do something to interrupt that fear pattern. I know it's a lot of information, but I think I really wanted to explain it to you in a way that you could understand on a concrete, actionable level. Because I am passionate to teach you and to help women to change, because I know that there is a possibility for better. And my biggest joy is when I see someone using the tools that I propose and maybe accepting for me to hold their hand, and I'm doing that virtually here with you on that show, to accompany you in the journey. And when you achieve a shift, there is nothing more beautiful than that. I've seen women's faces change in front of me. Literally, the muscles relax, because it affects our brain. Our thoughts affect the way we hold ourselves, the tension we have in our body. When we resist something, our muscles are contracted. And when we finally let go and release something that has been bothering us, holding us back, maybe hurting us for years, there is a relax. There is a physical relief, a physical release of energy. And that's gorgeous. That's what I would love to help you do today. So again, start opening to the possibilities out there. If you have questions, if you enjoyed that show, please rate me on iTunes. I would really, really appreciate. I would be so grateful, because I really want to bring my show to the high ranking on iTunes this year. And I want to help as many women as I can touch with my voice. You can also, if you think it's going to be helpful to someone, recommend it. If you have questions, contact me on my website at datelikeafrenchwoman.com. Come join us on Facebook. Every Thursday evening, I do a live Facebook live session where we talk about what people face in dating, what I hear women talk about, what they ask me about. So it's the opportunity for you to get free tools that you can implement in your life right away and change your reality. It's everywhere. It's just a question of you being committed to change your love life. And that starts now. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful week. Next week, I have a special interview for you about a woman who is actually a coach. She's more like a business coach, but she really talks about training your brain, and she's the queen of positive. She calls them mantra, I call them affirmations. She's amazing. I work with her to develop my business. I really love her. I love her energy. This is a treat. Don't miss next week's show. Until then, have a wonderful week full of love and possibilities.